create a calendar.
It could be rebirth. I don't know.
Right. That's what I'm trying to talk about. But I don't know either. I'm working the cipher out with you. Like being able to create a calendar is like controlling time and controlling the minds of people. So to me, I'm like, okay, what did making a calendar mean? You know what I'm saying? So then it would suffice that once the first calendar year goes by, you'll be like, man, new year, yeah, a new year. You know what I'm saying? Like we actually carried it out, and then we got to do it again, type shit. But they say the Gregorian calendar was created to correct a lot of errors in some of the older calendars. But I think it wasn't necessarily errors, but when you take into account how we measure time, right? We measure time based on our location, basically in the universe, because how the sun hit us, timing, and etc. So when you think about that, it's like if people say the planet was at one point in time, you know, all one, but people don't talk about, of course, what it wouldn't make sense if you don't have a clear understanding of how big the fucking planet is, and not to mention living in the time of certain things happening. It's almost like the grind is moving so fast under our feet we can't even tell. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's vibrating. But when you can't tell and you live so long and what you can tell to the point, it gets to the point you're like, man, ain't no way they messed up the calendar like that back in the day. Somebody just didn't know some shit. But what if the planet just wasn't that fucking big? So the way that the sunlight hit it was different, because it would make a difference. The size, you know what I'm saying, and position. So, you know, when you think about the planet is constantly, I can see that the planet is constantly growing. Well, I can conceive, is what I'm saying. I can't see that per se, but I can conceive, like, dang, if I'm constantly growing, like my ears are still growing and everything, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that is still growing, you know. As far as height and stuff, we know at certain points our bones reach a certain peak or whatever, and it's like that's where you at with it. You know what I'm saying? But even that can be manipulated a bit, 1 or 2 inches. That's why they give or take 1 or 2 inches in the NBA or in sports for athletes, because they height be fluctuating as well as they weight. You know what I'm saying? I think you'll have to give 5 pounds, you know what I'm saying, to a person because how weight fluctuates, just water weight alone. But like I said all that to try to, you know, have a discussion on, like, because I feel like all of these holidays tell a story, and it tells a story no different than drill rap. About motherfuckers acting like, you know what I'm saying, niggas just doing some out the box shit or off the wall shit. Like, nigga, as sure as these kids, you feel like they telling some shit that they did or what they war stories was, like, recognize that's where this shit come from. The Ethiopian assassins or the poetic assassins, they used to do poetry before they got an energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this ain't nothing new at all. It's actually keeping with the energy that it came with or came from. So when I think about that shit, I'm like, bro, I'm so glad I ain't dumb to that shit. Just don't have a clue about it, to the point when I see it constantly being continued or done over and over again, I'm like, I see why though. I see why. Like, as much as I be wanting to be like everybody else, be like, they need to stop talking like this or stop doing X, Y, Z. It's like, you can't tell your child to stop doing what you doing. You know what I'm saying? You got to be real with your child. Unless you be real with your child and say, look, I know I'm wrong for this, and I got a bad habit of doing this, but I don't want you to be held back for my mistakes, so I'm going to tell you what's right. You got to be real with them. Like, I'm wrong as hell when I do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am wrong. But if you want to be better than me, you can't do what you see me do. And this is me being honest and loving you enough to be like, I don't want to stay in my comfort so much that I don't tell you the truth. Because some parents don't tell their kids the truth, because they so comfortable in their bullshit to the point they like, hell no. How dare I tell my child so my child can be looking down on me too. At least when I come in the house, I'm the king or queen, you feel me, of my word. And really, they be re-perpetuating how a motherfucker treat them out in the world. That's why I don't like that shit. Because we all slick grown ass kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, we figure out what worked, and you know what I'm saying? We reproduce that in our own lives. And then sometimes it ain't necessarily what worked, it's just what we consistently bombarded with. We wind up perpetuating that shit whether we know it or not on some subconscious shit. So it's like all the shit that they allowing for you to see is to affect your subconscious. So now your motherfucking ass be subconsciously digesting a whole bunch of shit and acting out a whole bunch of shit. Because once you go straight to the subconscious, ain't no reasoning with the conscious. And that's why it's important to that deliberate thinking shit. You know what I'm saying? Always checking your thoughts like, hold on. Like, where that come from? You know what I'm saying? But you're not going to do that if you don't tell yourself, man, my brain worked for me. You're just going to be thinking everything that come to your brain is your fucking thought.
You got to stop and think, are these really my thoughts?
And then you got to stop before you do shit. Because a lot of times we just don't even think about it because it already hit the subconscious. We just be like, So, I just be thinking like, man, I feel like these holidays tell a story that niggas ain't gonna want to hear because they want to continue the rationale of carrying out these holidays. But on some real shit, it's like, come on, G. You know that shit is bullshit. I feel like they was shooting up them guns, scared of slaves during New Year's, nigga. Like, don't try to run away today, nigga. Peace within, peace out, family. See you in a minute.